How a black swan can be read as low value by signing covert contracts that she has not bothered to check. Well, hello, my name is Unique Swanda and I am your online dating coach and your style concierge here at the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Before we go into today's topic, please like, comment, definitely subscribe to this amazing channel, the Black Swan Relationship Academy. Today I am talking about the little silences that spoil the vine, the foxes that spoil the vine, the golden silences that no one ever really speaks about. And we always end up in a space where you're finding that you're a black swan, you've done all these amazing work on yourself, and yet you're still being ghosted. And yet you are still not being treated as the gorgeous, beautiful black swan woman that you are. So here are some things that I've kind of put together when we talk about covert contracts. I think we've explained this in the past before, where there are certain contracts that we have as human beings. There's certain expectations that we have that we may or may not verbalize. There's a certain way that we are read as a society. There's a certain way that we read people as a society, whether it comes down to a cultural thing or just being between boy girl, between people who are courting, just that, like, we've now finished Valentine's. There are certain things and certain things that couples have to iron out a little bit, and those are the little covert things that I'm talking about, those expectations of what we expect of someone to do without actually saying it. So that is what a covert contract translates to. It translates to basically an expectation that is required from someone without actually verbalizing it. So we go into covert contracts quite a lot. There are certain things, then, like, if we go back into the Nice Girl Rehab, we remember that we end up being nice girls because we are doing things to please people in the hopes that we will get what we want. It is very unwritten rules that we seem to follow as nice girls, whereas black swans and nice girls who have gone through their rehab are women who state what they want, women who are not out to get a man, are not out to have hidden agendas. We love to have things out in the clear and spoken in a feminine, non-confrontational way. So the reason why I thought this would be a really amazing video for you to add to your Black Swan vault is because of late I've really been having quite a few conversations amongst ourselves, amongst the coaches, amongst my friends, about how there are certain unwritten things that are expected of us culturally, and we just know how to read them without saying anything. In my culture, for example, if a visitor comes to our house, as a woman, especially the eldest woman, it is my obligation to make sure that they are seated well. It's my obligation to make sure that when it comes to food, their hands are washed. It may require kneeling, it may require just some courteous things that we do within our own given cultures, but that's just for my culture, and I can only speak for that. It is not derogatory in any way at all. It is just part of the culture, and it's part of the understanding. It is part of the respect that is expected. There's also what we may sometimes term as church culture. There's just certain things, certain words, and certain things that we use in and amongst each other around the church circles, even amongst your friendship circles, depending on how you met, where you met, you have formed a form of cultural language that is expected. And the thing is, when we go out and we date, we expect these men to kind of just know some of these little things and these nuances. We expect them to know without saying anything. And that, in a sense, is a covert contract. So the covert contracts I'm really specifically talking about here is basically when you're already in the relationship and there are certain things and expectations that you would like to be met, and we end up getting into our feelings because those needs are not being met. The only reason those needs are not being met is because we have not set them as an expectation. We have not verbalized. And sometimes we get into this trap and then we end up being disappointed. And we kind of go away feeling some kind of way. Let me actually talk about the ones that end up allowing you to be read as low value. These are also coming back from the Tinder Swindler episode that I watched, the series. If you haven't watched it, it's on Netflix. It's really about how we are being read as low value out here on these streets. Let's forget about him being a swindler. Let's forget about him being taking money from these women just for a minute, and let's actually focus on the fact that he was able to play these games because he had done his mind game and his psychology and read women very well. Most women, when we've been dating for a while and we get into this place where we don't really expect much from men anymore, we kind of sit back and be like, okay, well, fine, that's fine, all right, yeah, I'll go for a low investment date with you, I'll go for a lunch date with you, when really what you want is someone who wants to invest time and energy into you. So the first thing, really, I don't really want to number them, but let's talk about the one covert contract where we end up being read as a low value. So as a high value woman, we have standards.
The guys you want don't want you. And the ones you don't want simply won't leave you alone. They say you are picky and have impossible standards. Your partner has lost attraction for you and you have no idea if he will stay or progress the relationship. The harder you try, the further he pulls away. You are starting to think you are cursed, that there's something fundamentally wrong with you. The truth is, you are not uniquely broken. You are simply ill-informed, uneducated, and ill-equipped. All the things that can be fixed. I am offering you an all-access pass into the Black Swan Nation, where you will receive access to all of the courses, mentoring and coaching calls. We are also offering a 100% no quibble money back guarantee if the academy isn't a fit for you. What are you waiting for? Get smart, be educated, and level up. Do it absolutely right now by clicking the link below.
There are certain protocols that we follow when it comes to first dates. You don't want to come across as too easy, as too available, as your time, like you've got nothing better to do than to be on dates with this guy. Because remember, at the end of the day, you do actually have a life. As a Black Swan, you do have a life. You are chasing after your dreams. You're multiple dating. You're going after the things that God has called on your life. You have a life. You have family. You have places to go, things to do, and family to see on weekends. So you do not have the availability that sometimes we think it's okay to just be available. You do not have 6 hours to spend on a date. You do not have the all of a sudden availability just because someone has offered you a date on a private jet. This is those little covert contracts that I'm talking about that do end up being read as low value. It may be fun. The first date is amazing. We spend hours. We spend this time. He hears me. He gets me. The time stretches and you stretch and you stretch and your date ends up going on for 4 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, 9, 12 hours. And you're just non-stop talking and laughing. It is amazing. It is beautiful. But guess what? On the other side of the line, you are being read as low value. You are being read as someone who does not have much to do. You are being read as a woman who would drop anything and everything at the drop of a hat because you're enjoying this man's company. You are also robbing him of the chase and then the desire and the wanting to get to know you a little bit more. You're robbing him of that mystery that he needs to be able to pursue you as a black swan. You are robbing him of the ability to want to get to know you more because you literally just spent 8 to 10 hours on this first date with this one guy. Lord knows what you've talked about. And I'm not saying that don't spend that time with them. Definitely go ahead and spend the time. But we have to be very, very, very aware of how these behaviors are being read on the other side. On another note, there's something else that came up when we're in Chingy's Angels about cooking for a man, about cooking for a man, especially on the first and second date. My thing is, until you're in an exclusive relationship, you do not owe this man anything. All you owe him is your time and energy and a beautiful smile and your beautiful company. Remember, at the end of the day, ladies, we want our contracts to be signed as well. Their contract could just be simple as, okay, if she can cook for me, oh good, then I've got her. You know, there's no more chasing that I need to do. And that just kills the attraction and the chemistry, because remember, attraction and chemistry is about a build-up. It's not about an instant gratification and satisfaction. Most of the time, because we come from this microwave generation, we get bored of things very easily. And I know it is hard as a black swan sometimes to just sit back and allow a man to impress us, allow a man to do those things that he's supposed to be doing to woo us into a relationship, into a secure relationship that we want, where he shows that he is a provider, where he shows that he is someone who is wanting to really build something with us. The reason why I say some of these are read as low value is because every other woman is doing them. It's now what is expected within the society. So when you stand out a little bit and you require him to be a little bit more patient with you, you require him to make dates, you require him to literally pick you up. If you are now at that safe space where you are picking each other up, you expect him to open doors, you expect him to pull out the chair for you. If you continue to make those an expectation and a requirement, your value continuously goes up. And there's something valuable in saying no. Being a yes person has never been the best thing. As we know, coming from Nice Girl Rehab, being a yes person ends up making you a doormat. And that is the last thing that we want, ladies. And being a doormat does read low value. When we're out here being nice to every single guy that we meet, going out on dates that we don't want to go out on, it is your right to go out on a date that it is your right to refuse to go out on a date that you do not want to go out on. It is your right to refuse to not want to go to certain restaurants, because that is what you are accustomed to. The reason why we say, ladies, do the work on yourself, take yourself out, see and experience the world in the way you want to live it, and create your world the way you want to create, because this is what you're doing. You're setting yourself a standard that this is the life that I want. If you're coming into my life, you're coming to add to it, whether it be a potential boyfriend, a potential friend, a potential best friend, and a colleague. When you set your standards to this part, this is what you're being read from, right? And this is where we want to stay, ladies. So whenever we say do the work on yourself, it's not that so that you have this false sense of standards. You actually develop a way of being. You develop a life that is unique to you, and you understand that you are starting from this space. I take myself out on dates. I take myself out to restaurants. I go out with my friends to certain spaces that I want to be seen in. I go out to certain spaces and places that my body likes and my palate likes. That means that when a man is coming my way, there's just certain things that are about me culturally, or the way I sit, the way I talk, the way I present myself. He will know innately not to take me to a restaurant that will read on this level. He will have a basis to start from here, and he goes up. So with that said, ladies, let's kind of park this again for a minute, because there is a lot more to talk about when it comes to all of these COVID contracts that we're out here signing and being read as low value that could be so easily avoided. But that's really down to a you thing. That's really down to a me thing, and how I want myself to be read out there in this world. So whenever we say work on yourself, ladies, do the work. The work we do at Black Swan Relationship Academy, yes, it will get you the man, yes, it'll get you the ring, but it's a deeper work that will get you to a place where you are able to set the dynamics in a more sustainable and more palatable way to how you live your life and how you want to be read. In the meantime, do take care of you. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Do join the Black Swan, the Black Swans in all the groups that we're sharing, and more importantly, the Black Swan All Access Pass. And I do believe today is the last day where you can enjoy the 7 days for free. Join us. Look, we are literally launching the next month's lessons, which are really to do with the dating playbook, and we'll talk about some of these things that I've touched on today. There's a lot more deeper work that we need to talk about, and a lot more understanding that we need to get to as Black Swans, because the more of us understand these little protocols and these little covert contracts that we're out here signing, the more it becomes a cultural thing, the more it becomes something that is now expected of Black Swan women, and we are not mistaken for low value feminine women. In the meantime, you take care of you, and I will see you on another video. I'm currently covering for our coach Edwina, which is why you'll be seeing me on Tuesdays as well as Fridays till she's back in March. You'll be seeing me again on another Tuesday or another Friday. In the meantime, beautiful swans, you take care of you, and I'll see you on another video. Mwah.